Hey everybody, don't get anxious, get prepared. Your career engineer right here, and welcome to our Monday edition of TCE Live, where we're going to be sharing some tips and tricks with you on things that you can do to keep your career, life, and business on top of things. And today we're going to focus on actually 4 tips to winterize your career to keep it from freezing over, okay? 4 tips to winterize your career so you can keep it warm, right? So get your pen, get your paper, get your digital tools. We're going to give you these tips so you can know what to do. And make sure you're checking us out. We're streaming right now on our LinkedIn, what's up, and our YouTube, what's up, and also on Twitter via Periscope, which is disappearing in a couple days. That's a whole nother conversation. But don't go anywhere, for real. I'm going to be like right back, like lickety split. Like I'm going to show you like how fast. I'm going to find it. There it is. It's coming. Watch this, like really flip. Here I come. I'm coming right back. Like don't even blink your eyes. I will be right back like this. Told you, it don't take long. It doesn't take long. So again, I want to welcome you to our Monday TCE Live, where we're keeping it real, keeping it relevant with things that help folks to not be anxious, but to get prepared, because that's what we're really all about. So make sure you find us everywhere, tcenow.com. From there, you can see all of our profiles, our Instagram and all that kind of good stuff. Follow us, connect with us, all that kind of good stuff, so we can help folk out and keep them blessed. Those of you looking for a job, I mean, of course, use whatever works for you, but we also have the jobs.tcenow.com. It's our relationship with America's Job Bank, which is all like the workforce centers and all that kind of good stuff. The good thing about ours is we share jobs that posted like today. So whatever posted today, what's today, the 21st? Yeah. So whatever posted today, from the womb to the tomb. So you got to sift through and see what works for you. But it's another thing that you can add to your resource. And those of you who got our newsletter Friday saw our big thing about, we promoted Siemens, they're hiring, and some other great employers, about 200,000 jobs. If you're not getting that, you need to subscribe. It's easy. It's free. It costs you nothing. I think I give you a free gift though. It's either how to make a resume wow or my interview with Tab and Smiley from back in the day that has great content. But subscribe.tcenow.com. You'll get that in your boxes. Normally Friday at 7 o'clock. But if there's a holiday, it will be the next day, just so you'll know. But subscribe.tcenow.com. Those of you who got the reprint today, you 3 days late with all the new jobs and all the leads. So don't do that to yourself, all right? And of course, I can't say it enough. Our summit is in 2 weeks. TCEsummit.com is in 2 weeks. You see that down there. Hit tcesummit.com. Come free on me. If you've been impacted by Corona, and who hasn't? I'm almost at the point, like, who hasn't? We got 20 million folks still on unemployment, waiting for folks to sign stimulus, waiting for DC to do their thing. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know, but I can do what I can do. So if you've been impacted, hit tcesummit.com. Use promo code FAITH. The $40 ticket's on me. Use promo code SEED, and you just pay $10 for a $40 ticket. That's on me. And if all is well and you still have it to go, we have a 4NEXT code that gives you 25% off of the ticket. So TCE Summit is January 2nd. Get your ticket free or nearly free. I mean, for real, faith gets it to you for free. Okay. So that's what's up. So I'm going to keep that up there because I think it's very important. A little tickler down at the bottom. So so you guys can know. And if it's not for you, if you're good, you've made your millions and you're encouraged and motivated and hopeful and inspired, well, still come to the summit. Maybe you can do that for someone else. It's deeper than a job. It's about re-engineering hope. That's what I'm doing with the summit this year: career, life, and business, health, mental health, all of that, right? So listen, today we're going to talk about how to keep your career from freezing over. And since I am live and wherever you're watching me from, you can post a comment for those watching live and I'll answer it right here. Those of you who catch it later, still do a comment and I'll send you a response, maybe 24 to 48 hours, but I will send you a response. So I'm going to give you 4 ways of keeping you warm this winter, because as I'm taping this, it's the first day of winter. And we do know that after fall, winter is coming. So here's a couple things I want you to do. I want you, particularly, I mean, I am broadcasting on LinkedIn right now too. So you want to heat up that LinkedIn profile. I mean, put some fire to it, right? It's not just, I got a profile. That's great. I got a little profile. We want you to heat that thing up, right? Put some fire to it. So here's what I'm talking about. No doubt you got your profile, you got your cute little face shot. So I'm sure that's rocking, but make sure you've used, you got volunteer work or places where you've served. That's helpful. There's a section on LinkedIn with volunteer work, but the point is there's some other skills and abilities there. If you're a member of groups now, those of you who join 500 groups, I'm going to pray for you. I don't know what to do, what y'all doing with all of that. But for rest of us, join a group that you really sense you can have some engagement with, some place where you really see some synergy, energy, and then connect. Engage, share content, respond to content, literally try to build up some relationships, because there's some great people in those groups. And if you're a member of a group, you can connect with people that you're not connected to, right? But make sure you do that. But if you have, articles, or you're blogging and there's some work samples of you, you can have that stuff on LinkedIn. If you checked out mine, it's kind of busy, I know, but it is because I've got videos I may have shared. Maybe I blogged about something, which is showing how I am a content expert in what I do. So maybe you are that as well. And you can share some of the things that you do that's professional. That's professional. So people can click and have a sample of your work. Okay. So heat up that profile. Backgrounds are great too, to make sure they share a little bit about who you are or your personality, depending on kind of what you are and what you do. That's very important. But please heat it up. Don't just leave it there and let it be stoic and stale. Bad mistake. Okay, bad mistake. The other thing we want you to warm up is those transferable skills, right? You've heard a lot of career folks talk about, right now when the markets are kind of weird, tap into those transferable skills. So what are those? A lot of folks are like, well, what is that? So I'm going to use a word that a lot of us are using now, this repurposing. Everybody knows about repurposing content, right? You had something last year. You can use it again this year. Maybe you tweak a little things and you can use it again. It's easier to edit than create. Okay. So we don't have to always recreate, but guess what? I'm using some transferable skills right now. My degree is in social work. I know people laugh when they think about that. I don't know why, because social work is pretty powerful. I'm in the social networking space. Why would I not be a social worker? Hello. But in terms of my training, we had a lot of interpersonal skills training. I have my clinical side, but there's a lot of things I learned, like writing, speaking, analyzing, analytics. I've learned a lot about policy, programming, right? I've learned, of course, how to handle clients, how to handle tough situations, how to be diplomatic, how to handle crisis, how to problem solve. Y'all hear all those transferable skills? They can be used anywhere. Okay, of course, that's not even getting into my digital skills. Okay, there are digital skills that I can use no matter what. Maybe I don't know how to use QuickBooks, but maybe there's something that's a copycat of QuickBooks that I know how to use, and I can figure it out. Okay, right? So how I use technology, mobile technology, social technology, how I research, finding really good vetted sources, right? I have researching skills. So all those things are transferable, and I'm not working in social work right now. In theory, I'm a very non-traditional social worker, but I am not working in the traditional setting because I use a lot of my transitional skills in other places, my transferable skills in the corporate space, in the business space, in the entrepreneurial space. And a big transferable skill I know how to talk. Hey, so this is what I'm talking about. You want to warm those up and see, and give yourself some credit and see all the things that you have done in your jobs, working with people, processes, places, and things, and see what's transferable. And make sure you highlight those to warm up your brand so you don't freeze out this winter, even in tough times like this. In fact, I had a gentleman, I was on the radio. I do a radio show on Thursdays, and he was not very nice, but it's okay. I can see, I'm a social worker. I can deal with that. But the part where he was stuck at bitter. And I'm trying to get folks to be better. We know you read the news, you know what's going on. Do you really need me to tell you 20 million people are still out of work? You know that. But here's the deal. Instead of focusing on that, let's focus on who's hiring today and how you can be one of those numbers to get a call. That's where my energy goes. So speaking of interviews, we've got to fuel up the game. You've got to fuel up your interview game. You got it. Interviewing is a skill. I'm an adjunct professor and I teach this class for college, and I'm so passionate about it. A lot of people go, it's just interviewing. No, it isn't. That is the game changer. I mean, the resume don't get you a job. It's the interview. And even with that, there's objective content and subjective in that. And you got to have your game plan. You got to have it 150%, right? So you got to fuel up your interviewing game. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you've got your online stuff. You got to make sure now, more like, what am I doing right now, right? What am I doing right now? I'm using a third-party app, okay, to talk to you in a virtual way, to have it streamed on different types of places. I mean, we're not an interview because I'm just talking and you're just receiving. But if I was interviewing someone, I'd have to learn how to use this particular platform. And again, you know the big ones. There's your Skypes and your WebEx, and there's Zoom, of course. But there's Teams, and there's all kinds of stuff. So you've got to know, we cannot say anymore that we don't know how to use this stuff. You will be out of work forever. You've got to do, so this is the digital skills training that we're talking about. So you've got to make sure your interviewing skills now know this. You see me changing some of my graphics. That's skill set. Got to learn how to do that in some of these platforms. So on Zoom, don't get upset if the interviewee asks you to present something. And they want to know if you know how to share a screen. They want to know if you can chat on those platforms. They want to know, can you upload a virtual background? I mean, these are skill sets. So that's the online part of the interviewing game, but don't miss out on the offline part. You've got to have great answers to tough questions. You've got to know what to say and what not to say. You have to still know how your body language still matters. Even now, I'm looking right at that little green light. I'm not looking down here. I'm looking right at that green light. All those things matter. So you've got to fuel up your interview game. What you did in March last year does not cut it. It will not cut it now. There's a lot more demand on talent, but you can do this. You can get this, because if you don't know how to do it, praise the Lord, there's YouTube. Okay, so there's no excuse to not know. Of course, there's your career engineer. Yes, I train people on this, but we have to take it up a notch, and you've got to answer those tough questions. Why should I hire you? What do you bring to the table? I've got 3 people to pick from. Convince me now in 60 seconds or less you're the one. Tell me something about yourself. What brings you here today? All kinds of questions that you need to answer. Why have you been out of work for so long? Do you have kids? Are you married? Do you have young children? Oh, where are you from? I mean, know what questions to ask and what questions you shouldn't be asked, and know how to deal with that. Very important that you fuel up your game. Okay. I want to make sure for the winter, so we don't get cold, right? And I do have on my holiday bling, by the way. You got to turn up the follow-up. I have a saying in our network, the TCE network, that, I think 3 things that helps folks to be successful. You got to show up, you got to step up, and you got to follow up. And very few folks do all 3. Most folks will not do all 3. They may show up, but they don't step up. And then they're in the step up, but they don't follow up. Follow-up is so important. So in the part, you got to make sure you have a follow-up game. Okay. So you all know I've always loved thank you cards. I preach that like crazy to my folks, and I'm big on the handwritten ones that you send to the people, but we understand having to pivot, right? And pivot that folks are home and no one's giving you their home address. We get that. So only now will I say, okay, you can use a thank you card. A thank you email, even I'm like, oh, I hate those. But if you do the ones by email, please make sure they're at least organic and not some cut and paste thing. And you're truly pulling out something from the meeting that you had that really inspired you or made you go, or, some type of moment that you can really reflect on. And also don't forget to say you're looking for the job in the thank you letters or the thank you emails. But if you can send something in the mail, that would be great. One thing, like I said, when I said fuel up your interview game, folks can ask questions if they can follow up in an interview. And if the person says, yeah, give me a call in a couple of days, or no, don't do it at all, follow their lead. That's very important. So if your interview game is strong, you'll know how to follow up with someone. So those are the three things. I'm going to just do them one more time really quickly. As again, we're talking about how to keep yourself from freezing over because winter is coming. Make sure you heat up that LinkedIn profile. Very critical space right now. And I know some people put their resumes on LinkedIn, but I totally don't like doing that. So just make sure your profile can speak to you. Make sure you warm up those transferable skills, or use the word repurposing, because that's so in vogue right now. Make sure you're doing all that. Make sure you fuel up that interview game. Okay, you got to really know how to sell yourself now more than ever with digital, the digital aspect of it, as well as knowing those great answers to really, really tough questions. And you've got to turn up that follow up. Follow up is everything. Follow-up is everything. So make sure you have a great follow-up game. And of course, I wouldn't be here at the time of this broadcast. It's holiday time, Merry Christmas time. I've got my little red sparkles on. So want to make sure that you guys have an amazing and safe holiday. And remember why we're having this holiday, right? So I understand there's gifts and all that stuff, but remember, in fact, if you're one of my newsletters, you got my message today from Christmas saying, the best gifts are the ones you can't purchase. It's the ones that's priceless. So make sure you know the difference between the purchase and the priceless. And maybe this year we'll truly celebrate and be grateful for where we are. Nah, it ain't what we want to be, but hey, it is. We are here, so we want to make sure we're thankful and grateful for that. So without any ado, again, thank you so much for tuning in today. And again, we try to bring nice content to you every single Monday on several platforms, but you can always find me. Again, I'm Googleable at Career Engineer or TCEnow.com. If you're not liking or subscribing to any of our platforms, make sure you do so. Again, by going to our website, TCEnow.com, you can find our YouTube and all that kind of good stuff. And our YouTube channel is really taking it up a notch, guys. So we're trying to do what we can to make that your go-to place to get some career and business intelligence, DIY on your own time, whenever you want, so that you can beef it up. Of course, we are available to help you with that in the professional space of coaching and services, but believe the TCE Now brand is really here to help. So you guys be blessed. Make Monday great. I'm going to take off my Christmas gear and get to work. Remember, don't forget about the summit. Get your tickets at tcesummit.com. Use code FAITH for free. Use SEED for nearly free, or code 4NEXT for 25% savings. All right. You guys be blessed. I want to just make sure I didn't miss anything. And again, we thank you guys so much for being a part of our world. And you guys be blessed, and we will catch you next time.